Hey guys, how's it going? Solo back. It is the start of another great trading week. And if you can tell by the tone of my voice, I had a great trading day today and I hope you all did as well. Let's just get right into it. It is 4:01 p.m. The market just closed and I'm so excited because I wanted to get this video out there and record it because I had a great trading day. And again, I hope you all did as well. And longtime viewers may know because they may know what tickers I've been playing. And if they've been following the market today, they probably know what I'm going to be talking about. But let's just get right into it. Looking at this heat map here, you can see overall green day in the market. I feel like this is something that we just needed for a while. It just seems like it's been a lot of red days lately. So overall, the market was green. Big tech, Amazon, Google, Facebook, Apple, Microsoft, all up around 1 to 2%, which is great. My sector, the semiconductor sector, all green as well. Nvidia, AMD, the Honey Badger, Micron was up 0.8%. Qualcomm had a big day, up almost 3.3%. So yeah, all around great day. And let's just get right into it. And let's talk about first AMD. And that's not even the ticker I'm most excited about. But let's just start with that and get that out of the way. So longtime viewers know that I currently own 200 shares of AMD because I was assigned shares on 2 cash good puts that I sold a few weeks ago. I was assigned shares at the $85 strike price. So that means I owned 200 shares of AMD at a cost basis of $85, not accounting for the premiums that I received in selling those cash good puts. The past 2 weeks I had sold covered calls and I was able to get max profit on them this past Friday because they expired worthless. And so I collected $97 in premium per contract. So essentially, just to round it up, I was basically able to reduce my cost basis down to about $84, right? Because I basically earned $1 per share by selling those covered calls that were 2-week long covered calls. I let them expire worthless. They were at the 85 strike, and I fully expected that they would because AMD was trading in the mid to high 70s for those 2 weeks, and it continues to trade in the mid to high 70s. So, of course, the first thing I wanted to do today or at some point was open up some more covered calls on AMD. And if you've been following my videos, you know I was debating whether I want to sell weeklies or 2 weeks out or monthlies. And as of last week, really the monthly options were giving me the most efficient bang for my buck, meaning if I were to average out the weekly return over the course of, let's say, 5 weeks for a monthly option, I was getting the most per week return. So I understand that theta decay is not linear, but just kind of for argument's sake and just to kind of help me decide which one would be a better data expiration for me to sell, I thought that the monthly option was going to be the better choice. Today, I was a little worried. I got excited pre-market because pre-market we were up already 2% on AMD. We were just shy of $80, and I was hoping that AMD was going to go up above 80 because then I could sell strikes at 84 or 85 and still collect good return on my collateral, basically get good premium. But unfortunately, as soon as the market opened, we sold off really hard, all the way down to actually being in the red. We were down 0.3% within the first 30 minutes of the market opening. Yes, we rallied back up until about noontime, but not quite as to the level we were pre-market. But at that point, we were up 1.5%. But you know, I saw all this chop in AMD all morning long. And I said, you know what? I don't want to trade this. I don't want to sell a covered call right now because I could potentially leave money on the table if it's choppy and we go up even higher in the afternoon. But we actually sold off all the way back down again to where we were in the morning. And then from that point on, at about a little afternoon, we just slowly rallied up. And actually, we closed the day higher, basically at all-time highs for the day. And even right now, after hours, we're continuing to climb. So I did not open any positions. I did think about it during power hour within like the last 10 minutes of the market being open around 3:50 p.m. Eastern time. I thought, you know what, is this now a good time to sell these covered calls because we're at the highs for the day? But I said, you know what, let me gamble a little bit. Let me get a little bit greedy because I told myself that I want to get it above 80 before I sell those covered calls. And right now we were about 79 and some change. We were knocking on the door. So I'm hoping that tomorrow we gap up or we open up green and we go to 80, maybe even 81, dare I say. And then that's when I'll sell some covered calls. But then the question is, do I sell them weeklies or monthlies? So let's just take a look at the option chain here. For selling covered calls, and then the other question obviously is what strike do I sell them at? I think if tomorrow we can get to 80.81, I'm going to sell again 85 strike covered calls. Yes, I could sell them at 84 because that's where my cost basis technically is right now. But if I do that, if I sell the strike at 84 and AMD goes past 84, well then I've basically erased 2 weeks worth of gains that I got by selling those covered calls the past 2 weeks. So I would love to sell it off at 85 if I need to, and that way I get to collect all the premiums along the way between my cash good puts and selling these covered calls. So the only reason I was not thinking about 85 was because it was further away from the current share price, so the premiums weren't as great. So you can see right now, I would collect $25 for a weekly option, would collect $36 for a weekly option at the 84 strike. But if tomorrow we get to 80.81, then these numbers are going to go up because they're going to be closer to the money. So we'll have to wait and see what happens tomorrow. You know, I'm not afraid of sitting on AMD right now because the other thing is on October 8th, meaning not this coming Thursday, but next Thursday, AMD is going to release the specs for the new Zen 3 CPUs. So I'm sure there will be a run-up just in terms of buying the rumor before these specs are released. And then again at the end of the month, on October 28th, their new GPU specs are going to be released as well. So I'm very bullish on AMD the month of October just based off news catalysts. So I'm okay. You know, the worst thing that could happen to me right now is that I sell off my shares or I get my shares called away and then AMD continues to rise up to like high 80s or 90s or dare I even say 100, then I would have definitely left a lot of money on the table. So I am thinking about playing maybe a weekly or at most a 2-week option. The one thing I noticed was, let's just say right now I wanted to sell a weekly option at the 85 strike, a covered call. I would collect $25 in premium. If I go another week out, so 2 weeks out, at the same strike at $84, I would collect $134. So that is more than double the premium for exactly double the days to expiration. So to me, this 2-week option out is way more efficient use of my capital than a weekly. Because if I just do $134 over 2 weeks, for example, let's just do the math on that. If I can get $134 in max profit divided by 2 weeks, that's roughly equivalent to $67 per week, which is basically triple what I would get by selling a weekly. Because again, this weekly is only $25, right? So it's almost triple that by only doubling the days to expiration. So that's why I'm saying the only reason I would sell the weekly is if I'm really scared that AMD is going to rally this week and I don't want my shares to get called away too soon. I don't want to leave profit on the table. But let's see what happens tomorrow. We do have some catalysts coming up tomorrow because tomorrow in the evening is the first debate. So we'll have to see if whatever they say during the debate, if that impacts the market on Wednesday. Because, you know, if they say something about the economy that if that person wins, the market doesn't like, well, then we might have a red day in the market. So we'll have to wait and see. Let's take a look at the TradingView chart on AMD here. So as we can see right now, so longtime viewers may know or may have seen me do these technical analysis on AMD. If you haven't seen it, check out the video. It's in my upload section on my YouTube channel. But right now, if I zoom in here, these are daily candles. So each candle represents 1 day of trading. You can see yesterday, or I should say the last trading day on Friday, we were trading within this range from about $74 to about $78 for a few trading days. And we had this 21-day moving average here in orange and this 50-day moving average here in pink. And we were trading below that the past 3 trading days. But today, we were able to break above this area of resistance at 78 and also break above the 50-day moving average. And that's a very bullish move. I mean, our next area of resistance that I've identified is right at $80. And not only that, we have this 21-day moving average, which is also going to be pretty much right there at $80. So what I'm looking to see tomorrow is for AMD to confirm that it's going to keep trading above the 50-day moving average. So hopefully AMD gets to, you know, somewhere around high 79s or low 80s at least tomorrow. And I would love to see AMD break above $80 and stay there, because then it'll be trading above the 21 and the 50-day moving averages, as well as this area of resistance, which would then become an area of support. And that would be great news for me, because the next area of resistance that I've identified is about around $83. So I would love for that to happen. I would love for AMD to get kind of in this range before I sell my covered calls, but we'll just have to wait and see. So Let's get right into it. The ticker that has got me so excited today, and that is Virgin Galactic, or SPACE. So let's get into Robinhood here and check it out. And I love this ticker because pre-market news broke that Bank of America analysts upgraded this to a buy, and they set a price target of $35. So immediately, I mean, we can see we gapped up. We opened up almost 12%, 11.4% at market open, and we just continued rising up until about almost 11 a.m. We were up at 22.4% in the first early hours of market trading. So I said, I gotta get in on SPACE. So again, I own 200 shares of Virgin Galactic that I was assigned shares on from cash secured puts 2 months ago. So for 2 months, I've been selling covered calls on these things and just slowly collecting premium. And the past 2 weeks, I was actually able to collect $60 in premium per contract by selling 19 strike covered calls. And I was assigned at $19 a share. Currently, my cost basis is right around $17 and some change. So I was able to reduce my cost basis this whole time, but once I saw this like gap up today, I got really excited because now I can sell covered calls at or above where I was on shares at, depending on how greedy I want to get. And I just loved it because I also, at the time, I thought I timed this perfectly because I sold my covered calls right around this peak here, around 11 a.m. So I was actually able to sell my 2 covered calls, and I was debating, what strikes and what expirations do I want to sell them at? So let's go to the options chain here. I sold covered calls that expired this Friday. So I had this similar thought that I did with AMD of, do I want to sell a 1-week option or a 2-week option? And let's just take a look, for example, if I look at the 22 strike, just as an example, the 1-week option would give me $53 in max profit, right? If I go out 2 weeks, the same $22 option would give me $97, right? So again, 97 compared to 53. So it's not double like AMD was. So I thought, okay, it's more efficient for me to just sell a weekly covered call. And then if I really want to, if SPACE just continues to rocket all week long, maybe I can consider rolling my options out to higher strikes to collect more stock appreciation if I do get my shares called away. A part of me, I have been saying that I do want to be as much cash as possible right now and have my AMD and SPACE shares called away, just because I'm a little bit nervous about the market. And, is this just a blip, or are we going to start another bull rally, or is this just a blip on a more short to midterm downtrend? So I kind of want to be cash. Again, if my shares get called away at, let's say, $19, $20, $21, I can always try and get back in by selling cash secured puts at a lower strike, like let's say $17 or $18, for example. So that's what I was struggling with this morning. I ultimately decided, because I could sell 2 covered calls, right? Because I have 200 shares of Virgin Galactic. I said, you know what? Why don't I kind of play the middle ground? Because I said, do I want to get really aggressive or do I want to be conservative? And I said, let me do a little bit of both. So I sold 1 covered call at the 20 strike, and I sold another covered call at $20.50. So in essence, because I was assigned these shares at $19, not accounting for all the premiums that I've been collecting along the way, if both of my contracts have all 200 of my shares get called away, well, not only will I get to keep both premiums, but I'll get to keep $100 in stock appreciation, right? Because $20 minus what I bought them at 19 is $1 per share, times 100 shares is $100 on this contract, and $150 on this contract. So not only would I collect max profit on the premiums, but I would get an additional $250 in stock appreciation, which was like awesome to me. So, I mean, take a look at these changes. Up almost 10,000%, up almost 2,000%. So the moment you've been waiting for, I sold this contract, the 20 strike, for exactly $100 in premium, and I sold this one for $80 in premium. Now you can see right now they're worth more because during power hour, the last 10-15 minutes of the day, Virgin Galactic just popped. So yes, I did leave a little bit of money on the table, but if we look back at the stock graph here, I was looking pretty good because once I sold them at around 11 o'clock, we did sell off a little bit. There was a point right around here, around noontime, where actually both of my options were already 50% profitable. I could have sold them, within an hour for 50% profit on both. In retrospect, I should have done that and then waited till the end of the day and opened up more covered calls, because that would have been just like absolute, in hindsight, if I could go back in time, that's exactly what I would do, because I could cash out in an hour, make 50% of my returns in an hour, then open up this same covered calls for more premium at the end of the day. But again, I don't have a time machine, but you know what? You're always going to leave money on the table. You got to go after the meat in the middle. You're not always going to be able to sell at the absolute top and buy at the absolute bottom. You got to go after the meat in the middle. So I'm okay with that. I left a few bucks on the table, but at the end of the day, at the end of Friday, I have the potential to earn $250 in stock appreciation if Virgin Galactic closes above $20.50, and also $180 in premium. So let's just do the math on that. So $250 plus $180, that is a total of $430 that I have the potential to make in 1 week. And I own 200 shares of Virgin Galactic that I was assigned at $19 a share. So I basically have $3,800 in collateral that's tied up in my 200 shares. So to be able to collect $430 divided by $3,800 in capital, that would be an equivalent of 11.3% return on my capital in a week. That's absolutely amazing. That's crazy. If you can do that, every week for a year, it's impossible, but just for fun, that would be at least a 588% return in a year. Just craziness. So super stoked about that. Let's just take a look at the TradingView chart and see what space might do. So if I zoom out here, again, these are daily candles. You can see we had this huge gap up today. We jumped up from about mid 16s to low 18s, right? And not only that, we broke past this area of resistance at about 1660 or so. We broke above this orange line, which is a 21-day moving average. So both bullish moves here. And we basically broke above this area of resistance in the low 18s. And we closed the day just below this area of resistance in the mid 20s. So we closed the day. Just to give you a sense of how strong this move was, space was up basically 25% today. It broke past 2 areas of resistance, is knocking on the door of a third area of resistance, also blew past the 21 and the 50-day moving averages. Now, the real key is to see what happens tomorrow, because I do think we're going to have a sell-off tomorrow. I think tomorrow Virgin Galactic is going to have a red day, because there's no way. How do you follow up a 25% day with another big green day, right? I think tomorrow morning there's going to be a lot of profit taking, because people made a lot of money right now. If you even just bought shares at 16, it's trading right now at $20.50. You would have just made $4 per share basically in one trading day between Friday and today. So I definitely think there's going to be profit taking tomorrow. We'll have to wait and see. I just hope that we close the day tomorrow above the 50-day moving average, which is going to be around $19. If we do that, then I'm more confident that Virgin Galactic is in a bullish trend right now. If we don't, then today might have just been a little bit of hype based on the Bank of America analyst buy rating and the high price target. We'll have to wait and see. Let me know how your trades went today. Hopefully you were able to open some new positions or close some positions for profit. Leave me a comment below if you actually have shares or options on Space, or if you opened new options on Space. As always, if you're not in our Discord server, you're missing out. We have a very active trading group. We are in there all day long, most active during market hours. So a lot of good, knowledgeable people in there to bounce ideas off of. As always, if you have any questions or comments, leave them below, and happy trading.